Well, FEMA is drawing new flood maps for most local counties, and if you haven't checked to see whether those new maps will impact you, now's the time to do so. Homeowners who will be added to the flood zone will have to buy costly flood insurance, and as we've been reporting for you for months, the premiums for those policies will skyrocket. But there are some homeowners who will be drawn out of the flood zone. Problem is, though, they still need the insurance until the maps are final, and CBS 6 has learned could be more than a year until that happens. Jennifer Lukey joins us live now with the real deal. Jen?
Well, Dory, there are a lot of mixed feelings on these new flood maps. Many homeowners who've never flooded or been in the flood zone are now in a floodplain under the new maps, and they're upset about it because most lenders will require that they buy flood insurance. And as you said, it's very costly. But this also works the other way. There are some, as you're about to see, who've paid thousands of dollars for years in flood insurance premiums, and under the new maps, they're out. But until those maps become final, they've still got to pay.
When we bought the house, everything was all set until we went to sign the papers, and they said, you got to have flood insurance.
For nearly a decade, Bob has owned this home along Township Road in Altamont, and all that time he's been forced to pay about $900 a year for flood insurance. While he's got a small creek in the back, he says his property has never flooded.
I feel like it's Christmas for them. I just keep giving them money, and they just keep using it, you know, where else they need to use it. But I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable with that.
So when he heard that FEMA was redrawing the flood maps for Albany County, he called to check on his home.
They redid the maps, and you're not in it. So I thought that meant I wouldn't have to pay.
This is the old flood map. You can see the red circle around his house that shows he's in the flood zone. And this is the new map, where his house and garage are now out of it. The problem, the new map is still preliminary and likely will be for months. Until it's final, Bob's lender won't recognize it.
Not working and stuff. You're trying to keep what you have, but it looks not good, you know, because I keep handing them out money, but I'm getting nothing in return.
The comment period on the new maps ends in July, but it's likely still to be at least a year until the maps are final, which means Bob's still got to pay, and pay big. As we've been reporting, flood insurance premiums are set to double because FEMA's well has dried up after Irene and Sandy.
Well, when you got no money and you got to make money up, if the people are in it, keep them in it for as long as they can get their money is the way I look at it.
Now, the comment period, Greg and Dory, for Albany County extends until July 2nd. After that, Albany County has no idea how long it will take FEMA to finalize these maps. Schenectady County is still waiting for their maps to be finalized. Their comment period's over. Rensselaer County, their maps have been out since 2012, but they haven't even started the comment period yet. So it's a long and convoluted process, and there's a lot of questions for homeowners about at what point in time will I either save or have to start paying a lot more.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, do we know, are any of these maps final anywhere in the state yet, Jen?
Well, it seems that FEMA and the DC started from the west and moved to the east. So there are some maps in central New York and western New York that are final, but it looks like from start to finish, it took 2 to 3 years in those communities as well, because they do want to hear from people. You know, if you live in what will now be a flood zone and you haven't flooded, they want to hear, you know, they have engineering studies, things like that. So it does take a lot of time, but it's changes depending on what county you live in and where you live in.
And speaking of changes, since it's all a big mystery, will people be notified if they're, you know, up for a change?
Yeah, you'd hope.
No. Actually, you are responsible for checking into this yourself. So you're not going to get a notice in the mail, but each town or village has hard copies of these maps, or you can go onto FEMA's website through the state DEC's website, which we will link you to at cbs6albany.com.
Once they're final.
Sure.
No, these are the proposed maps. They're on there now.
Okay.
So you want to look, see if you're on the proposed map, see if there's any changes to what it is or isn't now, because you either have to maybe get insurance or you will be saving thousands of dollars by being able to get rid of it.
Okay, great.
All right. Good
Thanks,
information.
Jen.